Hello, I'm Beelzebub and welcome to my channel. You might recall from my A Bit About Me video that I said that I'm pro-choice and laid out my personal limitations for support of abortion and my exception to the rule. When it comes to abortion, I'm pro-choice. I do put a limitation on that, and that limitation is viability outside of the womb, with obvious exceptions for rape and incest and well-being of the mother. And since viability isn't something that happens until about 6 months into the pregnancy, the mother has plenty of time to come to the realization that she's pregnant. But what about the Christian God? I mean, if it's the origin of all morality, then it should be an open and shut case, right? That seems like something worth investigating, so let's have at it, shall we? Christians like to talk about how God would stand against abortion and often cite the Bible to back up their claim, so let's take a look at a few of the verses that they use. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. I just want to say before I make my point here that Christians love to tell atheists to use a verse in context. So let's apply their own logic to them. In context, this verse is talking to and about Jeremiah, who was a prophet in the Old Testament, so the verse doesn't apply to the pro-choice, pro-life debate. So let's take a look at another. For you created my inmost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your books before one of them came to be. Psalm 139, 13 through 16. Alright, I can see how this would back up your point, although this is King David talking to God about himself. So not really. Children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring a reward from him. Like arrows in the hands of a warrior are children born in one's youth. Blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them. They will not be put to shame when they contend with their opponents in court. Psalm 127, 3 through 5. Ah yes, the verse that the quiverful movement uses to justify having kids they might not be able to support and care for. I suppose it counts though, so let's take a look at one more. Did not he who made me in the womb make them? Did not the same one form us both within our mothers? Job 31:15. This would appear to support their claim, but let's apply proper context again. Take a look at verses 13 through 14. If I have denied justice to any of my servants, whether male or female, when they had a grievance against me, what will I do when God confronts me? What will I answer when called to account? Using this verse falls apart pretty quickly, under even just the slightest scrutiny. This verse is obviously talking about treating other people with fairness and justice, not a pro-life message. So out of the 4 verses I read for you, only one of them contained anything that could be counted as a pro-life message. But what about the pro-choice side of the argument? Does the Bible contain any support for terminating a pregnancy? Actually, yes. Yes, it does. And this is a long one, so bear with me through it. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, if a man's wife goes astray and is unfaithful to him so that another man has sexual relations with her, and this is hidden from her husband and her impurity is undetected, since there is no witness against her, and she has not been caught in the act, and if feelings of jealousy come over her husband and he suspects his wife and she is impure, or if he is jealous and suspects her even though she is not impure, then he is to take his wife to the priest. He must also take an offering of a tenth of an ephah of barley flour on her behalf. He must not pour olive oil in it or put incense on it, because it is a grain offering for jealousy, a reminder offering to draw attention to wrongdoing. The priest shall bring her and have her stand before the Lord. Then he shall take some holy water in a clay jar and put some dust from the tabernacle floor into the water. After the priest has had the woman stand before the Lord, he shall loosen her hair and place in her hands the reminder offering, the grain offering for jealousy, while he himself holds the bitter water that brings a curse. Then the priest shall put the woman under oath and say to her, if no other man has had sexual relations with you, and you have not gone astray and become impure while married to your husband, may this water, bitter water which brings a curse, not harm you. But if you have gone astray while married to your husband, and you have made yourself impure by having sexual relations with a man other than your husband, here the priest is to put the woman under this curse. May the Lord cause you to become a curse among your people when he makes your womb miscarry and your abdomen swell. May this water that brings a curse enter your body so that your abdomen swells or your womb miscarries. The woman is to say, Amen, so be it. The priest is to write these curses on a scroll and then wash them off into the bitter water. He shall make the woman drink the bitter water that brings a curse, and this water that brings a curse and causes bitter suffering will enter her. The priest is to take from her hands the grain offering for jealousy, wave it before the Lord, and bring it to the altar. The priest is then to take a handful of the grain offering as a memorial offering and burn it on the altar. After that, he is to have the woman drink the water. If she has made herself impure and has been unfaithful to her husband, this will be the result. When she is made to drink the water that brings a curse and causes bitter suffering, it will enter her abdomen will swell and her womb will miscarry, and she will become a curse. If, however, the woman has not made herself impure but is clean, she will have been cleared of guilt and will be able to have children. This, then, is the law of jealousy. When a woman goes astray and makes herself impure while married to her husband, or when feelings of jealousy come over a man because he suspects his wife, the priest is to have her stand before the Lord and is to apply this entire law to her. The husband will be innocent of any wrongdoing, but the woman will bear the consequences of her sin. Numbers 5:11 through 31. Fuck me, that took forever to read. So if hubby thinks wifey has been unfaithful, he can take her to the temple and have her drink a poison that will cause her to miscarry. That sounds like an abortion to me, and you really didn't have to say it every single one of those times. it's fucking repetitive, and I thought I lost my place several times when I actually didn't. But that's not all I got for the pro-abortion side. Another would be Hosea 9:16. Ephraim is blighted, their root is withered, they yield no fruit. Even if they bear children, I will slay their cherished offspring. How about Genesis 38:24? About 3 months later, Judah was told, "Your daughter-in-law Tamar is guilty of prostitution, and as a result is now pregnant." Judah said, "Bring her out and have her burned to death." So it would seem that the Bible, and by extension the Christian God, has exceptions for abortion. Seems as though the Bible can be used to argue both sides of a discussion. That kind of makes me wonder if it's worth using at all in the argument. It certainly has no place in the discussion when determining secular law. Oh, and I will be leaving a link for the Skeptic's Annotated Bible so you can take a look for some more biblical support for abortion. That'll do it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and share the video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, linked below, to keep up with all my comings and goings. Take it easy, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next one. Hey everyone, I just wanted to make a really quick addendum to the video. I know a couple of the verses that I used may not exactly count as abortion because, well, I mean, one of them was a woman old enough to be having sex and get pregnant. But please go to the Skeptic's Annotated Bible and actually look up some of the other verses, because the Bible is chock full of, either murdering children in the womb or killing newborn babies. So just give it a look, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.